Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is Laughin' Games here. I'm back with another Starcraft cast. We have got ourselves something a little bit different here for the channel, as it was a game that a best of three actually, that I just had to cast because we've got a very special player for this one. It is going to be TAEJA, the Terran former Starcraft 2 legend. He's still a legend, just not actively playing anymore. But I did notice he played in the Starcraft Evo tournament, number 14 that went on. And I thought, I gotta cast this because not only is it TAEJA back playing StarCraft 2, it's TAEJA back playing StarCraft 2 in the wonky StarCraft 2 versus Broodwar mod. And so he's definitely not under the username TAEJA today, but it is TAEJA, and he is taking on a Protoss player known as Prome. So a TVP here on SC Evo Complete Neo Isles of ... I don't actually recall what the full name is. We can find that out later. But the notable thing is that this is an island map. And so yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if we can get a like on this video for having TAEJA be back, that would be phenomenal. I know that this isn't usually what I post on this channel, but I wanted to, I definitely wanted to take a look at and cast these games because I really am a big StarCraft fan and fan of many players, so I wanted to cast this, but then at the same time, it's like, I can only cast so much, right? So I hope you guys are all right with a bit of a pivot here for a video on the channel, as we've got an interesting TVP. Now TAEJA goes for his racks, builds a tech lab for his factory, and then floats the racks over. So I guess he's going to float it to the bottom left, because not only is this a 4-player map, this is a 4-player island map. So yeah, it's got all the craziness to it. Fortunately for TAEJA, Prome is playing Broodwar Protoss, so that means he doesn't have to contend with, say, like Tempest, which I think would be very strong on an island map. But we'll see what TAEJA's going to do here. Starport is on the way, understandably so. You literally couldn't win on this map without a starport. Or I guess technically you could as Terran, because you could float your buildings over and then build things, but you kind of want a starport. Now we've got double Stargate coming out of Prome, who is playing Broodwar Protoss. And then we have got lots of gas being mined. That Nexus is already up, whereas TAEJA did delay his tech a little bit. And wow, look at this. Prome going for triple Stargate. That is very, very quick triple Stargates, but again, understandably so on this map. TAEJA, on the other hand, is focusing on getting out the tech as quickly as possible. He went for the quickest possible starport, so now he's getting cloak on his Banshees, and we'll have to see if there's going to be something for detection from Prome, as he does have scouts on the way already, which can potentially handle this Banshee. The racks for TAEJA scouts the bottom left. It's on the way to the north, so we'll see where TAEJA's going to send that Banshee. There is a bad world in which TAEJA just rallies this Banshee out right into a scout before cloak is done, but we shall see as I mean, it's just going to depend. But like, yeah, the logical thing for TAEJA, until he identifies where Prome is, would be to send that Banshee to the middle and then pivot once this rack sees it. But oh, the scout may actually see this racks. However, TAEJA does turn that away, and oh, the Banshee is flying. The Banshee flies right by the Scout. The Scout sees the Banshee, however, cloak is now done, so TAEJA can cloak it. Cat's out of the bag, though. Robo is building for Prome. He's going to build a shield battery, but no forge is done, so the Banshee will be able to get some work done here, and it's got 40 seconds of energy, so this will actually be massive damage getting done by TAEJA. A very wise decision to go for this Banshee, I mean, I'm not 100% sure of how accessible detection is for Broodwar Protoss as far as like the builds and stuff goes, but obviously he's got a robo now. There is a shield battery built at the natural base, so this Banshee won't get that much done. Scouts are staying on top of it, although then a second Banshee comes in, cloaks, and that is enough to one-shot these probes, so very smart decision by TAEJA to link these up. Now that one other Banshee runs out of cloak, so unfortunately it will go down, but not before massive damage gets done. A whopping 15 workers getting killed, and this battery doesn't have unlimited energy. Now, the scouts are kind of a meme unit as far as how they're not built very often, I believe. They may have been buffed in the mod, I'm not 100% sure, but you kind of got to make something that's air on this map. Now, TAEJA, he's got more Banshees on the way, or another Banshee on the way. This one's unfortunately going to run into the scouts. Does it cloak in time? TAEJA, a little bit slow on the draw, does lose that. Maybe he'll be able to get back in with 2 Banshees later on. For now, though, there is that observatory done, which is what Protoss needs to make observers. And we do have one out. The scouts checking the bottom left, as Prome hadn't actually scouted where TAEJA was from yet. There's Cyclones out for TAEJA, which will help zone out these scouts. The turrets will be the main defense, it seems, though, while he gets up extra starports and presumably starts spamming Vikings. So it really will just be a mass air against a mass air. Cyclone gets a lock on, though, and chases a scout away. Then we do have this Banshee flying around to the backside, and there isn't actually a battery in position to defend against this yet. So much dead space, well, just so much space on this map towards the north there, but the Banshee comes in, so it will get more economic damage done, and TAEJA is in quite a good spot. The scouts do target down a turret. Cyclone's locking onto a scout, kills it. The scouts are armored, so the Cyclones with Magfield Accelerator do get extra damage done, as that's pretty darn significant, so good call from TAEJA there. We do have Prome getting up a fleet beacon, but his economy is garbage. And yeah, what an exciting first game number 1 in this SC Evo mod. Really glad to have that there is so many active tournaments for this mod, and that they've even got a big championship going on right now. So keep an eye out for that, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I can't make multiple videos a day, so I kind of focus on doing the bot videos, but this is something I definitely keep an eye on, and I may post occasional videos on the second channel, so do go sub to that, even though I mainly just upload tournament VODs on it. We do have triple carriers being produced by Prome. Broodwar carriers slowly building, no chrono boost to get them out. 57 seconds for one of those bad boys to pop. Meanwhile, TAEJA is going into mass Vikings. A fusion core is on the way, though, so we may actually have battle cruisers against these carriers. TAEJA is just hanging out on his quote-unquote island, although he actually does have one more base that he could expand to. It wouldn't actually be a bad staging ground to just move a little bit further out and take this, so we'll see if he does. There we go, another command center is on the way. And yeah, this game is really uncharted territory for both of these players, I imagine. As not only is it island bases, it's island bases on the Broodwar versus Starcraft 2 mod, so you kind of just got to make these air units. Is there an observer inside this main base to deal with this Banshee? Looks like the answer is no, as TAEJA gets a full scout off. The Banshee gets on in, and oh, something actually does reveal that. Is there knobs in there? What's the detector? Okay, pardon my lack of knowledge. Is there an observer in there? Okay, there actually is. I'm like, where's the obs? Okay, it's just hidden. A little too hidden for my eyes, apparently. So the Banshee doesn't get much done. It's just chilling. In fact, it maybe could grab a probe or two before it dies. For now, though, TAEJA going for triple battle cruiser. No Yamato cannon researched yet. Now, that is something TAEJA will need to get. Yes, I say need, because if you're going to build battle cruisers, you need fusion. You need a Yamato cannon, so you can use 2 volleys to kill one of those carriers, as otherwise the BCs don't trade that well. They're not bad, but Yamato cannon is the icing on the cake. TAEJA, very cool, loads up 5 SCVs into the command center to get them over there. I believe they could just walk, which is funny enough. And then no one's taken this interesting clutch middle base, which has a lot of economic possibility, as it's a base and a half mineral-wise, but then double the gas. So that would be an interesting one for Terran to like try and float a command center over, you know, spam a dozen turrets at it. As yeah, I mean that's pretty much, that's almost 2 for the price of 1. I guess in fact it is, because some of these bases are only 6 mineral patches in this mod. So yeah, it literally is like a 2 for 1 base. Now, we do have TAEJA just building up battle cruisers, building up Vikings. Yamato cannon is on the way. +1 attack is done, +2 attack is on the way. I would love to see armor research for the BCs, as that really helps them out. But for now, we've got Corsairs building for Prome, and it's just an honorable macro game from here on out. TAEJA did the dirty work with the Banshee to get put into a good spot. He's on 4 bases. Prome is only on 3. Doesn't even have the gases secured yet at this 3rd base. TAEJA, meanwhile, floating another command center over to the upper right. I can only imagine how much of a nightmare it is to play on this map as far as the economic management is concerned. Like, TAEJA is shuttling over 1 SCV right now. Where it's going, I have no idea. For now, though, TAEJA has his battle cruisers moving on out, and they will be pushing towards Prome. This 3rd base is just having a battery complete. The Banshee misses its window to kill anything. In go the BCs. We'll see if they're just going to Yamato and teleport away, but Yamato is not actually done yet. It is a relatively long upgrade, so TAEJA's going to poke on in, but then he may just have to teleport out. In come the battle cruisers. Prome will have no choice but to take this fight. I mean, the BCs do have to teleport out. I'm not sure what the main damage dealer in that ball was. Is it the scouts that have very high versus armored? Okay, decent versus armored. So maybe just a combo of everything that was really packing that punch. Corsairs trying to hunt down this Banshee. That's Corsairs versus armored. It is better than their base attack. Nothing phenomenal, but that BC did get targeted down fairly quickly. +2 attack is about to finish up for Prome's units as well. And Prome is looking to bring this fight to TAEJA. He's got Disruption Web Research, which is the ability for the Corsairs. And now in comes Prome. He's looking to break TAEJA. TAEJA has turrets, Vikings, battle cruisers. Yamato cannon is done. And I think Prome's about to learn that the hard way as 1 Yamato cannon goes down. Vikings are pursuing. TAEJA dumps all the Yamato cannons into that Protoss Air army. And I mean, a lot of the Vikings have gone down, so that fight actually didn't go very well. Protoss Air units are pretty phenomenal, it seems, actually, as Prome takes quite a nice fight. As what died there? I mean, 6 Corsairs have died total, or pardon me, 6 Scouts have died total, 3 Carriers, and 2 Corsairs for 11 Vikings and 5 battle cruisers. So that was actually quite a good trade for Prome. As I guess these Broodwar Protoss units are quite good, and they of course balance this mod as well, because by default, just sort of taking the Broodwar stats, it wouldn't have been balanced transitioning over to Starcraft 2, so the mod makers have done a lot of work to make this mod very playable and competitive. Now we do have TAEJA going for a single Cyclone drop, which is interesting. Man, oh man, that burning pylon animation is very, very beautiful. The Cyclone won't get anything done, I don't think. TAEJA just showing us that old pro gamer mentality. Yeah, I'll micro 1 unit endlessly, basically. Why not? As this Cyclone does get hunted down and killed. Battle cruisers are moving on out. I mean, the BCs died quickly in that head-on engagement, but Yamato cannon and teleport out can still be a very good tactic for the Terran if he's afraid of taking another big head-on fight. Because, I mean, if he uses this right, six battle cruisers can kill 3 carriers, or a Nexus, per se. As in TAEJA goes, Yamato cannon's getting dumped into the Nexus. It's not going to die. It barely stays alive. So that's unfortunate for TAEJA. Prome is now looking to maybe counterattack with his high scout count. I guess the scouts are the best unit for this job. They do have 2 attacks, so I mean that's 32 damage in attack basically. As they come on in, they begin attacking some of these battle cruisers, and look how quickly those scouts can target down a couple of them. But there's the Yamato cannon going to punish those scouts. They don't quite one-shot them though, which is quite significant. The battle cruisers and Vikings for TAEJA are taking this fight. Prome is very committed here, and I'm not sure he's got the juice. He's got more scouts coming on in, though, and TAEJA does have to back out. Once more, Cyclones on the ground helping out. There's mass turrets for TAEJA, but it's just not enough here. I mean, the turrets actually may be enough, but the army definitely wasn't. Battlecruiser dies before it can teleport to safety. Vikings are in pursuit of Prome's carriers, so that's going to be one dying. Yamato cannon with the Vikings may be able to get yet another, and it looks like they will. TAEJA now having to back out as scouts are coming on in, but Prome really doesn't have that many units left. A BC does get forced on out of there. Man, these scouts, they really pack a punch, though, it seems. So Prome doing well. TAEJA teleports actually on top with his BCs. Will there be Yamato cannon out of these? No, looks like he doesn't even need it. There's a Yamato cannon going down, and I think Prome may have a hard time rebuilding his army, although he is spamming the scouts, which seem to trade not terribly. Like, 15 battle cruisers have died this game, and I had no idea that this TVP was going to be this epic, of these guys building giant air armies. Now, we do have TAEJA with plenty of bases, and yeah, that is actually going to be just a boon for him, as he's got lots of command centers, lots of orbitals, a much better economy than his opponent. Terran, of course, can float over command centers, whereas if the Protoss wants to get like a 5th base, he'll have to shuttle units over, and that'll just be so tedious for Prome. Now, he is still building lots and lots of scouts. I do wonder what the best thing to build would be for the Terran to kill mass scouts. Like, a part of me wants to be like Liberators, but they're really only good against light units, so... Or they were only good against light units, pardon me. They're only good, like, in mass amounts, and I'm not sure that they'd scale that well against the scouts of Prome. Looks like TAEJA does have his base get found, so this is a nice find for Prome. Going to set to work on these command centers, deny plenty of them building, shut down some of TAEJA's mining, so TAEJA is going to counterattack to bring the fight to his opponent, and while TAEJA, it's unfortunate for him to lose this base, Prome can absolutely not afford to lose this one. So in comes the Protoss trying to save the day. He's a little bit disjointed and needs to group up his army. 16 scouts to try and take on 17 Vikings, 9 BCs. I'm not sure that's going to work. There's some Corsairs in the mix, but Prome is fighting for his life here. And while he does deal good damage to these battle cruisers, I'm not sure he's got the numbers, as TAEJA wins this longer match, and I think he's won it anyway. Like, Prome's base is gone. He's down to 84 supply. TAEJA had some BCs at the back here, harassing a little bit, I suppose. And yeah, Prome down to 3 bases. Like, there's no way he can sustain this. Mules are getting dropped en masse by TAEJA, as he does take the center island base, surrounding it by turrets, teleporting more BCs on there to help save the day. And there's no way that Prome can break this. Look at how much money TAEJA is going to be mining here, as he pulls in just so many resources as the mules go to work. Although one of them's just like bouncing around doing the loop in the circle. But yeah, very cool to see TAEJA take that base. Prome flies to the bottom left. No is going to be able to attack this location, but TAEJA will be able to just mine all these gases he wants. He's got 122 supply against the 99 of Prome, so Prome is really fighting it out. But his main is starting to mine out. His natural is 100% out of gas. And yeah, that is not very good here for Prome. Prome taps on out. GG, TAEJA takes game number 1. So we will go ahead and load on into game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, in this best of 3. Shout out to the organizers of the SC Evo tournament, as they do submit the replays in a nice spoiler-free format, so you don't know the results if you just go to look at the replays. And yeah, it's such a cool project and such a cool mod. Like, TAEJA clearly thinks it's cool if he's coming back to play it. And yes, now we will see how he's going to do not in the air against Prome, as we've got TAEJA in the upper left and Prome in the upper right, who, by the way, has been playing quite well. He seems to have a good understanding of how this mod works, as he has played in a lot of these SC Evo tournaments before. and he's actually had some good results in them. There's really not much known about him. I'm wondering if he's a Broodwar player, or maybe he's just a ladder hero that likes this. But, yeah, not much details on him anyway. Yeah, so we've got this game taking shape here, as we do have Prome moving on out. Big SC Evo logo in the center. And we've got this Rax as well. Don't mind me as I take a sip of my decaf coffee, as it is a little later at night. And yeah, Prome scouts the bottom left. This is another 4-player map, something that's still used in Broodwar to this day. Not so much used in Starcraft 2. Although that may be making a comeback after we did get a 3-player map back in the pool now. Very cool looking Ursidon. TAEJA going for a bunker. He's got a supply depot. Oh, silly me for not even mentioning that TAEJA is the Broodwar Terran this time. So really being tested on his knowledge of this mod. I'm sure TAEJA probably is fairly familiar with Broodwar. I don't know how much he actually played of it back in the day, or has recently. Lots of StarCraft 2 and Broodwar players switch between both. Now, Prome is just one-basing it. He's going for double Stalkers and a Twilight Council. So he's going to be bringing the pain to TAEJA, trying to make use of these StarCraft 2 units to bring him down. TAEJA's SCV looks so small here. It's just hanging out in the corner. These maps are ginormous. But yeah, TAEJA scouting out, checking for proxies. He has seen that his opponent hasn't gone for anything. Like, no expansion, no proxy has been seen, so that means it's all in his main base, and it is just gateways and Twilight Council. So whether it's going to be Blink or DTs is the question. Presumably Blink with these Stalkers on the way. TAEJA does have a machine shop on the way on his factory, so he will be able to build tanks, which will be super important here. Now, Prome, he is going to build a pylon that's proxied, and this is a StarCraft 2 pylon, so there can be warpins there. And he's just going to try and overwhelm TAEJA, it seems. But, like, if TAEJA... Like, there's going to be no high ground vision for Prome. So if TAEJA just parks his tanks on the high ground, that could be very good for him. Assuming he gets there, as Prome is putting the pressure on very, very quickly. As Stalkers move on out, TAEJA has scouted the Twilight, all the gateways. He knows what he's up against. Well, for the most part, he's got suspicions. He does build a turret, though. He's going for a second bunker. In comes Prome. The turret will make it more difficult in order to repair this bunker, which makes me a little bit concerned. But Prome is coming on in with the Stalkers. SCVs off the line to repair. But yeah, we do see that, like, only one of these SCVs is repairing, so TAEJA may lose this. And yeah, it's a bit of a lockdown location. That tank is not sieged up in a meaningful location. I guess TAEJA just panicking, trying to repair this. But there we go. Now the tank will get sieged up. The bunker stays alive. That's very, very important. I'm wondering if Prome will, like, warp in a sentry, and there it is. There's the hallucination. So he'll be able to blink into the main base of TAEJA. Might be a little bit mistimed, as there's 30 seconds left on that blink, but you can always use another one, as this sentry did have the energy recharge be used. TAEJA's going for a bunker in his main base, although he's a little supply block trying to build this Wraith. And there is the Stalkers getting ready to come on in. TAEJA, I think, probably has a feeling that this is what he's up against. Does he see the Stalkers on the low ground? Yes, he does, but he needs to get his other tank up there in order to defend here. As now Blink is done, the Stalkers will make their way into that main base of the Terran. These Broodwar maps are huge, so TAEJA will have his mining disrupted inside his main base. Prome, though, does need to win the game here, basically. If he doesn't kill TAEJA, there's not much of a transition out of this. The Stalkers do blink forward on top of the tanks. These are Broodwar tanks, so they pack a wallop. However, they all get taken down fairly quickly. One more pops out, but it does go down, so TAEJA is just getting blink stalkered to death. And yeah, this Wraith is going down as well, and all of a sudden TAEJA is pretty much out of units. He's got some Marines in his bunkers at the natural. There is only 4 Stalkers inside the main, but there's reinforcements blinking on in. Those Marines will need to get inside the bunker potentially, or TAEJA is going to try and save this with his SCVs. They are Broodwar SCVs, so they're a little bit tankier. Well, not a little bit, significantly tankier than Starcraft 2 ones, but there's the next tank going down, and the Stalkers can just kite endlessly. The poor sound of Broodwar SCVs dying is it's a little bit comical, but then still it means bad things are happening. GG, TAEJA going to type out as Prome ties up the series. Okay, so here we go as we will load into our 3rd game on Sylphid. TAEJA, it's good to see him playing again. Prome looks like he's doing very well for himself, and he has played in multiple of these SC Evo Cups before, which is cool to see. All right, now we do get Broodwar TAEJA for game number 3, taking on Prome as Broodwar Protoss. Or did I say StarCraft 2 Terran for TAEJA? Pardon me. It is late. It's my 3rd cast of the day. And yes, we'll see, as Prome obviously can't go Blink Stalkers, but he could get aggressive with Dragoons again. Well, he could get aggressive again, this time with Dragoons. And then we do have a Probe Scout early on, so he has consistently wanted to get that early Scout off, which is nice to see. Got that destructible crate, part of the wall on this map. It's such a tight choke point here on Sylphid. Prome does get unlucky with his Scout. TAEJA going for racks and then gas. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying these games, click that like button if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below on what you think of this dinosaur. A Kakaroo. I've never heard of that. Probably made up if I had to guess. That Probe, a bit of a nuisance. I'm not sure if in Broodwar the probe speed was the same as the other races. I thought probes were a little bit quicker in Broodwar, but I guess in this mod they made them the same speed. I could be completely mistaken. I kind of just know off the cuff facts about Broodwar. That probe being a nuisance, trying to delay TAEJA's command center, and it's coming down to 1 stab versus 1 stab. The Reaper's about to pop out. TAEJA's been bikering that so hard. The Reaper will save the day. Meanwhile, Prome is sending out a Zealot and is going for that Singularity charge, so Dragoons are going to be coming. Although there is quite a nasty supply block as Prome was pulling off that little bit of micro at TAEJA's natural. The question will be, can this Zealot potentially get across the map and delay this? TAEJA's Reaper runs right on into it. Look at that. TAEJA's still got the pro gamer speed reflexes, dodges that Zealot, and then he's going to start working on it, as he does need to kill this before it gets over to his natural, as he's got no other units. So this Reaper is actually super important. So I hope I didn't just jinx TAEJA. The Zealots run a little bit. They run kind of like NPCs in Broodwar, in the StarCraft 2 engine, as it does get taken out. Very cool death animation, though. TAEJA's command center is on the way up. He's got Marines building. Prome will be looking to bully TAEJA with these Dragoons. Now, I'm not sure if TAEJA is aware of how strong Dragoons can be in the SC Evo mod, because they outrange bunkers. That, with Singularity Charge, that's the thing that makes them super duper strong, as the Terran basically needs tanks in order to defend against them. TAEJA is just scouting on out, and then we'll see if he can get anything done with this Reaper. But we do have triple gateway out of Prome, so he really is looking to bring the pain to TAEJA. And the Reaper runs on in, but it does die. And yeah, TAEJA isn't building a tank yet, so I'm a little bit concerned here that Prome may be able to pull a fast one, as from what I've seen, you do need tanks in this mod. Otherwise, Broodwar Protoss will kill the Terran. Cyclones definitely can be an option to help skirmish, as we do have this Cyclone. It does identify the Dragoons, but there we see they're high range. They do get a shot off as the micro dance begins. TAEJA is just building more Marines here. The bunker must be repaired, though, no matter the cost here, as the Dragoons begin besieging the bunker, and TAEJA's like, huh, all right. Cyclone does try and break that. Marines dive on out, but there's the kiting of the Dragoons, as the Marines have to go back on in, so there will have to be a repair here. Cyclone has a lock on, does eat a shot. That will need a repair. TAEJA is building a Marauder, which I believe every unit inside a bunker does get +1 range, but the repair is late for TAEJA, and the bunker goes down. The Cyclone goes down, and that is disastrous for the Red Terran player. He's got Marauders on the way with a concussive shell, but now he's frantically panic building a bunker. And yeah, I don't think TAEJA was fully aware of the danger of an opening like this from the Broodwar Protoss. He has to fall back towards his natural. The Dragoons pack a wallop, though. Marauders do pick off one of the Dragoons, but the Dragoons, they deal quite a bit of damage, and they do have bonus versus armored, which Marauders are. So again, it's like the Stalker dynamic. As TAEJA's in trouble, losing supply depots. He is building more Marauders. He's got Stim on the way. I think the only way he survives this is with a well-timed SCV pull. Maybe he could, like, lift up the racks. He's actually going to try and break this. I feel like it would have been better to try and bait Prome in here, as there is so many Dragoons and they can just kite back against this. But it seems Prome doesn't even need to, as he just takes the fight to TAEJA. And that it seems that TAEJA is going to go down here, as when it's SCVs against these bad boys, it doesn't work. Very, very well played by Prome, as TAEJA taps on out. GG. And that was a great series, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed this kind of one-off cast, let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe, like to the like the channel, subscribe to the video. You know what I'm saying. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.